Alright, so for my book project, I did Fighting Words, the greatest stories ever told about Muhammad Ali. So this book was about Muhammad Ali, obviously, and it was about how Muhammad Ali became one of the greatest fighters in history and what it was like to grow up in America at this time, being African American. He's also English and Scottish, but mostly the African American part at this time. And this book covered his childhood, his rise to fame, his public struggles, rumors and racial issues, obviously. And it talked about his personal issues, his emotional issues. And it talks about, lastly, why we talk about Muhammad Ali still today and why he's still an important person to talk about and why we remember him. So the sports psychology, the mental aspect, introduced in this book, there's a lot of examples actually. One would be that he used a lot of mental tactics to tear down his opponents that he would go up against. So like before fights or right before they would fight, he would always like trash talk and beat them down mentally, and it would obviously work, and they would get like already upset, and then they get tear down mentally, so they get torn down physically. And another example is on page 10. It was during his childhood. He was very self-motivated when he was younger, obviously all the way through. But here is one example in the book, Fighting Words. So, a cold chill shoots through my bones. I have never heard anything that affected me like those words. Heavyweight champion of the world. All the world? And from that day on, I want to hear that said about me. I pull my head out of the car and stand there in the rain. Still heavyweight champion of the world, Cassius Clay. And I get back on my scooter and ride on, hearing that announcer's voice coming through the wind. And still heavyweight champion of the world, Gene Tooney, Joe Louis, Ezra Charles, Rocky Marciano, Floyd Patterson, Cassius Clay. So from that point on, he was very self-motivated. He wanted to be the next heavyweight champion of the world, and he was. So it was really cool how just those simple words affected him so much. And he definitely used it to his advantage. So what did I learn about the main character that I did not learn before? So I did not know Muhammad Ali was born Cassius Clay. Had no idea. Just thought he was a Muhammad Ali. And I also didn't know that he had several marriages, and so that was interesting to me because you could tell that emotionally he did struggle in his life. And I also I think that's all I didn't know about him before. I mean, there was little things. I didn't know he was English and Scottish too, actually. So, and then how has this athlete inspired me? So Muhammad Ali has literally been through everything possible you could think of, every obstacle, like emotionally, publicly, anything, and he's conquered it. And so how does that not inspire you? So on page 18, for example, 18. The icing on Clay's cake of acceptability came in Rome when he told the Soviet reporter who had grilled him on race relations, "To me, the USA is the best country in the world, including yours." It wasn't just high white society that was pleased. The local black weekly, the Louisville Defender, called him an ambassador of goodwill with his stark, honest interpretation of U.S. race and conditions. So, obviously, like, he even went through the public struggles, and to be an African American at this time obviously was super hard, and he's been through literally everything. So if that doesn't inspire you, I don't know what can. It definitely inspires me. And what aspects of this athlete's life motivate me to work harder in my life. So since he has literally been through the ringer and every obstacle I could think of, if I can't make it through my math class, because I suck at math, then and he can make it through everything possible, I don't know what can motivate me. So seeing him go through all these things, him being torn down, you know, and every publicly, emotionally, definitely pushes me to work hard in my life if I just have to pass math class. So definitely makes me work harder. And yeah, he's been through everything. So, and then would I recommend this book to athletes and non-athletes alike? Yes, of course. He can relate to almost anyone. So he gets through every obstacle in his life. He has struggled emotionally, physically, racially, publicly, and mentally. But in the end, he's still remembered today as a remarkable man and one of the greatest fighters in the world. And he's fought against things such as himself. And since he has fought against himself, you know, emotionally and mentally, and fought against, you know, other fighters and publicly, I would recommend this book to athletes and non-athletes because, again, he can relate to anyone. And how can a coach use this book to help inspire her athletes? He can help to inspire others by explaining that one of the greatest athletes to live had emotional, public, and all these blocks in his life. And so a coach can always say that even if you're struggling through whichever obstacle and have a tough time breaking through, you can always get past your wall that is holding you up. And you just have to find that wall and have enough strength and mental ability to break it down. Just that one wall at a time. And just don't stop achieving your goals. Because Ali had every wall possible, and he managed to be remembered as one of the greatest fighters and a remarkable man. So yeah, that is my book project, Muhammad Ali. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.